I have a long scar. I had 14 staples in my leg. I still have a piece of screw that is in the middle of my bone of my left femur. Sometimes I can tell when it's gonna snow in New York before you know. Hey, I'm Allie Love, and this is my Women's Health Body Scan. I'm the host of Dance 100. It's a new show on Netflix, which I can't even believe I get to say that. Being the host of any show, let alone on one of the biggest streaming platforms, is like blowing my mind still to this day. But that show is sincerely bringing the power back to the dancers. We forget about the backup dancers. You know, you saw Rihanna's halftime Super Bowl show and you're just like, wow, Rihanna's great, but those dancers made that happen. Dance 100 is recognizing that the power has to go back to the people, go back to the dancers. So it's 100 dancers, 8 choreographers, 1 choreographer who's also a dancer and who is performing in real time will win $100,000, which is a lot of money, coins, coins, coins. It was pretty empowering to see that dancers were showing up, hitting the step, honey, but also had a voice to give feedback, to, let's be honest, judge the choreographers fairly, and for them to literally nominate 1 choreographer to win that $100,000 bag. It's exceptional. Ooh, what do I love most about my body and why? I love the fact that my body is reliable. Sometimes we forget that our body is designed to do what it does and we want it to do other things. I just am grounded in the fact that it does what it do and it does what it does really well, and that makes me feel good. By design of society, we are often so focused on the size of our bodies and potentially it not looking and or looking like what society accepts. I'm a work in progress, so keep this in mind. I am not quite there yet. This is a journey, but I had to come to the realization that my body would never, quote unquote, be good enough for me or society. And the reason for that is because I need to make sure that it's actually good enough for myself. I actively practice the awareness of my body in space and being proud of how I look and how I feel. They often say, would you rather look good or feel good? And I have adopted the saying of, I rather feel good about the way I look. The body part that I don't enjoy working out the most that I should is actually my upper posterior chain. So my rhomboids, like my lats, things like that. The reason for that is because I'm on the bike and most times I'm on the handlebars, so I'm closing my pectorials, like they're coming in, and then I'm lengthening my upper back, right? And what I actually need to do is I need to work my upper back muscles so that I can make sure that my posture when I'm sitting here talking to you is very regal, giving you Grace Jones. The part of the body that I enjoy working out the most is my booty. The glutes, baby, the squeezing of the glutes. And it's not a thing of where I want them to be bigger or anything, but your power actually comes from your core and your glutes. In order to transfer power in your body, you need to have a strong core and a strong pair of glutes down there. I teach bar class at Peloton, and one of the things that we focus on is a movement that I think we often forget. In dance, it's called a grand plie. In strength class, it's called a sumo squat. Toes are pointing on a diagonal, feet are as wide as you can, and you're dropping your butt down to the floor and you're bringing it up, keeping your posture erect. And all of that does, it not only creates flexibility and openness in the hips, but you're able to engage your glutes. Love, hate, clamshells. That's when you lay on your side and you start doing a little Jane Fonda moment. That's your medial glutes. And if I'm teaching on the bike, your medial glutes are actually where your power is to climb up those hills, and they are often forgotten. My current workout, and this is probably like my forever workout. If I'm not dancing, then you can find me running. I'm either on the Peloton tread in my house or I'm outside on the street taking a run. Running frees my mind. Having like that outer body experience while sweating at the same time is sincerely only something I can get when I'm running or when I'm cutting it loose on any dance floor at any music festival. It's unlike anything else. So I do have a serious injury. So at the age of 9, I was hit by a car, broke my left femur. So on my left upper hip, I have a long scar. I had 14 staples in my leg, and I was in the hospital for 7 days in traction for 5 of those days. Little kids don't normally break their hips, so they had to make the metal to put in as a placement. I still have a piece of screw that is in the middle of my bone of my left femur that they couldn't take out. So the screw broke off, and it's still there. And so while I will say it doesn't hinder any of my movements, I'm very, very fortunate and grateful for that. Sometimes I can tell when it's gonna snow in New York before you know. That experience had set the tone in a sense for my life. Like that's when I fell in love with dance. I was able, at 10 years old, I was able to communicate through dance. Because at the time I didn't have the words to communicate how I felt. And so dance was that outlet. And that ultimately was the catalyst that led me to New York, that led me to start my own company, Love Squad, led me to be a Peloton instructor, to have all these amazing friends, to meet my husband, to get married, to have a Netflix show, to be here with all these folks in the room that you don't see. So that was the catalyst that I would never change in a million years. So I have an interesting scar. Stick with me here. So when I was a kid, we would play in the sprinklers in Miami. I was running around the back of the house and I stepped on a piece of glass. Glass goes through the bottom of my foot. Obviously, I go to my dad and mom and I'm like, help me out here. They take the glass out. I heal. 1 year later, I go back to my parents and on the side of my ankle, something is like bony protrusion. So I'm like, I think my bone is coming out of the side of my foot. So my mom rushes me to the pediatrician and the pediatrician goes and actually pulls out this bony protrusion. It's the second part of the glass. What? A piece of glass broke off about this, this is not an exaggeration, stayed in there for 1 year and came out of the other side when the doctor pulled it out. And in all honesty, it wasn't a major surgery. It just needed to heal. Like you had some gauze, a Band-Aid, and you're fine. That's real life. It was facts, promise, #truth. So when it comes to fueling my body or putting food in my body, I gotta be honest. Most times my taste buds want Chipotle. I love a good Chipotle bowl. A chicken bowl, some white rice, little black beans, some chicken, veggies, a lot of tomato and salsa and lettuce with guac on the side. Give me a chip, scoop, scoop, scoop. That to me is iconic. Donuts, a proper glazed donut, way to my heart. And the food that I can eat every single day for the rest of my life, curry chicken and white rice. That's it. Like you give me some curry and rice, I'm a happy gal. A body part that I've grown to love. Originally, growing up, I hated my toes. As a dancer, you learn to have quote unquote like not good looking toes. But my sister always had pretty feet, so I had envy of her. And I used to do this thing that I do not advise anyone to do. I thought my toes were too spread out growing up, so I would tape them together so that they would look pretty in size flip-flops. I'm from Miami, Florida, so you wear a lot of open-toe shoes. So I would tape them together at home and when I went to sleep, thinking that they would get closer together and look prettier. I've grown to love my toes. I've grown to love my feet. It allows me to be present, and it's a reminder that everything ain't that serious. You know what I mean? It looks good no matter what. My toes are fine. My current skincare routine is I'm obsessed with eyebrow gel. I love for my eyebrows to be standing up. Like I want them to look like I just came out of the beach, although I don't really go on the beach, but like I just came out of the water and they're like brushed up perfectly, like they're sun-kissed and beachy. So I love Benefit's eyebrow gel. I do put on a tinted moisturizer, so with SPF, that's just really important. Growing up in Miami, SPF was like drilled into you, like you need to protect your skin. And I use a Makeup Forever tinted moisturizer. And then I also love a little like kiss of the cheek. So I put on a tinted kind of blush from Benefit as well. And then when it comes to my lips, I like Aquaphora. And what is it? It's like some greasy ointment that you use for scars and burns and ashy skin. And I put them on my lips. There's an addiction. I put it all over my face before I go to bed. I know it doesn't work for everyone, but for me, that has been like kind of my like low-key secret for great skin. I always say my hair is my best accessory. I'll be any bag, any shoe, any look, any piece of jewelry. It's my hair. I actually plan my outfits according to how I want my hair to look. So I did a little turtleneck moment with the big afro today. And when it comes to my hair, I wash it once a week. Some of the things that I use on my hair that I found have worked over time: Jamaican castor oil. I like massage my scalp with the oil before I'm going to wash it. And I use Bumble and Bumble shampoo. It's a curl shampoo and conditioner, and Bumble and Bumble curl cream. The curl cream is substantial enough that it actually maintains my curls. So instead of trying to decide, do I want curls or ringlets, I like to literally blush it out. I love a frizz, I love an afro. From Miami, humidity for me is iconic. I know people are like, humidity, I'm like, bring it on. Why am I trying to control everything? So for me, I put on the curl cream and then I usually allow it to dry, or I'll use a blow dryer. I don't use a diffuser. And then I let it do what it do. I love a good edge control, so I use kind of like an edge control that is literally called edge control. That's dope, because I love my edges to be slayed. And then there is a spray. This spray, if you ever want volume, this is the spray. And the name of it is Ouai, O-U-A-I. And that spray literally allows my hair to stay in position. Naturally, my afro wants to curl up, so it shrinks over time. Like throughout the day, it's big and it shrinks. It's natural because my scalp is sweating, gets a little humid, starts to curl up, and I like the bigger the hair, the higher the heels, the closer to God. That's what I'm going for. What I end up noticing is through this spray, they have like a dry shampoo and a voluminous spray. It actually sustains like my afro, sustains my curls, gives me that volume, gives me that big hair that I always like. So I'd say that's a secret weapon actually. So in order to take care of my mental health, one of the things that I prioritized in the last 9 months is my morning routine. I neglected it for a while, and then I recognized that because my morning routine wasn't in check, I was losing myself. I was being very reactive throughout the day. I don't want to be reactive, Because at the end of the day, I won't feel good that I responded poorly or didn't respond fairly to certain things. And it doesn't mean that I have to be aware 100%. It doesn't mean I have to take every day as I gotta be my best self. What I can do and what I have prioritized recently is waking up in the morning and asking myself this two-part question. How or what do I wanna feel today? I think going into the day, being proactive, not reactive, managing my own expectations of how I'm going to respond to folks, engage with folks, makes me feel good about myself. And now the answer isn't super deep. Some days I'll say I wanna feel safe. So that means on those days, I'm not talking to everyone in the office. I'm not on every phone call. I'm not speaking up in every meeting. I'm feeling safe. I'm protecting my peace. Some days I say, you know what? Things need to get done today and I'm the one to do them. So when I go in and I'm speaking fast and I'm moving from place to face, I feel good about myself because I've set an expectation and I'm meeting that expectation. Thanks so much for watching. I'm Ali Love. Be sure to subscribe to Women's Health and check out Dance 100 on Netflix right now.